money never sleeps. The stock markets in the US are closed today with the inauguration of Donald Trump as the next president, but we obviously have movement in the US dollar. Gold, silver, the commodities which are traded around the globe. We got a new base metal, industrial metal with a buy signal and a really interesting ag to put on your watch list next.
Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month.
Man, the action in the commodity sector, it just does not stop. Even though the stock markets are closed today, obviously we're doing a video because things are happening in the commodity sector which are traded around the globe. But the most important thing, and the thing we're going to start with when it comes to the Trump presidency, even more important than crypto, I know, heart attack for the crypto bros, but that's the truth, is the US dollar. It is the domino that'll basically tip over all the other dominoes. So let's jump right into the charts and take a look at the dollar. This is the DXY. So the dollar against a basket of currencies. And we have to say, on first glance, looks pretty good, right? We still have this uptrend in place. I'll put it around here, so we're right at it. We kissed it, bounced off it. But we're also seeing the beginning of a negative divergence in the RSI. And that makes absolute sense because Donald Trump wants a weaker dollar. But so far, higher highs, higher lows. If we take a look at the long-term time frame, then we see, let me get to the weekly so you can see this better. Here we go. So this is the long-term downtrend. This goes all the way back to 2000. I'm talking about this trend line. Now, this purple line is the beginning of Trump's presidency, the last inauguration. And as you can see, we had a run up before it. But what's obviously more interesting for us is what happens afterward. And the dollar just broke down hard. Now, we already know we had a strong move up before the start of Trump's presidency. I fully expect the dollar to become weaker, which is good for gold and the commodities. Obviously, the biggest level to short is this area right here, around 114. We have this former top resistance zone around 113, 114, and even more important, this ultra long-term downtrend that I told you, it goes all the way back to 2000, but it might not even take this long. We already see the divergence, but no selling signals yet in the RSI in the dollar. If we look against the euro, which is obviously with the yen and the pound, those are the three big cross rates, we see that the dollar is starting to top out, right? Now, we got to wait and see what really happens. If it breaks below this line right here, it's more of like a zone, a support zone. You know, I like to work with zones rather than clear lines. Very rarely in the market do you have one clear line. If we break below it, then we see a change in the dollar because that would also correlate with the break of this uptrend. We'll see if the dollar-euro cross pair will be the signal for the overall weakness. Now, that would be good for gold, which here's the gold update. Gold is holding up. This looks good. The gold bears, they're going to hate it, but they have to admit, this looks pretty good, right? We had a sell-off, and it got bought up right away. We're consolidating right under this resistance zone. Absolutely normal. I told you we needed to do this. We were overbought after the dynamic move in 2025. So let's wait and see. Yes, we have a lower high and a lower low. We can go lower. We can go into this triple support right here, as I showed you in the last video, and nothing really would happen. Silver is interesting because look at this. Silver is now running into the end of its triangle formation. That means a breakout is coming. Max case, the end of January. So that's not a lot of trading days left for silver. And then we should get a breakout up or down. And if it is confirmed, it'll be significant. But let me show you three, actually, other commodities, two base metals or industrial metals, whichever name you prefer, and one ag that are interesting. The first one that nobody's talking about right now is zinc. Look at zinc, this little guy. First, we're going to start with a long-term trend. You can see that after a massive downtrend in 2022, 2023, we are forming a really nice base. And we are moving up since last year in a nice uptrend, but we haven't been able to crack this resistance zone. Obviously, we cracked this resistance zone and confirm major up move in zinc is imminent. But one step after another, as you can see, we tested the uptrend, bounced off it, textbook, confirmed, great. Now, let's wait for a pullback, and then zinc could be an interesting trade at this moment, because if we get in at this uptrend, we can basically ride it all the way into the resistance, put our stop right where we bought it or even a little above it, and then see if it can break it or if something like this will happen or something like this will happen. But then we'll be okay because we bought so early that we won't lose any money on this trade. Though the other commodity that looks even better is nickel. Nobody's talking about nickel, but look at this. It just broke the downtrend from last summer, and this former support zone, that's why it's blue, but then turned into resistance zone. And this looks very good. This looks very promising. As you can see, we made higher highs. We got a big push up today. We didn't even went to retest the break of the downtrend, but we kind of hovered around and consolidated at the now support zone, the blue zone. If we get some weakness in nickel, that might be a buying opportunity because this looks very good. We already have the confirmed breakout here. This can be one of the next hot base metal stocks to go. And in the ag space, I would like to show you sugar. It's a ag that is really big in the ag space. Obviously, it's a huge market, but among the commodity traders, it's rather small and often forgotten. We had a big down move in fall and the winter, but look at this now. So this is the history of what happened in sugar since 2020. We had a massive rally in sugar for basically 3 years. You see this uptrend, just excellent. But in 2024, in April, we broke below it. We hit support, it held. We tested the broken uptrend from the bottom and then confirmed it by going back down, which is really bearish. But now we hit this support zone. As you can see, this has been massive, right? This has been massive. And we now have the chance to see if sugar finds a bottom here. And if it does, it could be an interesting contrarian play in the ag space. I usually don't play these type of trades. If I do anything in the contrarian area, it's more something like soybeans, where you have ultra long uptrends and the ag just pulls back to the uptrend. Let me pull up soybeans so you know what you mean. So we got to go. Let's see how far the weekly takes us back. So this is what I prefer, right? You see the ultra long uptrend in soybeans. Then obviously within it, we have this massive downtrend. And now we are forming a big bottom right at the uptrend. I told you about it. You're familiar with it. I've spoken about it several times, and we're just trying to break out of it. So the overall trend is up. This is what I like. And therefore, I'm willing to buy at the uptrend. With the sugar trade, it's a little different because we are at a horizontal support. And this big uptrend is broken and the breakdown is confirmed. So this is not really my cup of tea. But if you're a contrarian trader, put sugar on your watch list. That might get sweet for you. That's it for today. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.